Areas of spectacular biodiversity are celebrated every year on February 2nd for World Wetlands Day. Not to be underestimated for its proximity to the centre of Dubai's most modern district and world's tallest building, the Ras Al Khor Sanctuary, a protected wetland, has been slowly carved out of a tidal creek into an important stopover for migratory birds. Efforts to attract the birds have included planting 45,000 mangroves, building a protective fence around the sanctuary and extending the tidal flat by adding treated water to closed-off areas. Kevin Hyland from the Wildlife Protection Office has overseen the creation of the reserve over the last 20 years.
We are lucky to host a winter home to many thousands of birds. The greater flamingo is probably the most conspicuous and one of the more attractive ones, but there are many small waders that are seemingly insignificant, but we've got them in large numbers, so we almost have an international obligation to protect that, and our joining of Ramsar is really an illustration that we are doing that. Again, the most conspicuous is the greater flamingo. We've used that really as a flagship species to draw attention to this site, and we've manipulated peripheral habitat, not the core habitat, we leave that well alone, but we've manipulated peripheral habitat to encourage both the greater flamingo and breeding grounds for smaller birds such as the native Kentish plover. Birds generally are undisturbed by regular events, so traffic noise, which you can probably hear in the background, that doesn't disturb them. It's the unusual. It's fireworks are not good. Parachutists, which we've had, tend to scare things. Low-flying aircraft are the primary, one-off disturbances that can create major problems. The fact that we've got a large buffer zone here, the fact that the Dubai municipality has provided a fantastic fence to keep out general intrusion of the site, and we've developed single point access, so we've got bird hides scattered around. We want to improve on that. We've got ideas for visitor centres and everything else, so in that way we're starting to get an interaction with visitors and the reserve itself. My personal opinion is that it's very, very important to make accessible a reserve, but the secret is to make that access in a way that it doesn't compromise residents of the reserve, in other words the birds.
Marshes, lakes, coral reefs, peat forests, even underground caves can be classified as wetlands. Water systems everywhere, in fact, from the mountains to the sea, including man-made habitats like Ras Al Khor, are considered areas of great global importance.
The reserve is an area of 419 hectares, of which there's only a very relatively small area of natural mudflat left, but we have a generous amount of land that we could improve the habitat on. My interests or goals is rather than to bring the people into the core zone, which is very sensitive, to manipulate the habitat and through habitat management plans to bring the birds to the people.
Recognised under the Ramsar Convention for Wetlands, Ras Al Khor is home to thousands of birds that travel far and wide, stopping here along their migration. Last year, Dubai municipality recorded the highest number of greater flamingos to date. Around 2,700 flocked to the reserve throughout the year.